So you got started with GetResponse and you're not really sure how to use their automations? Well, I'm going to go ahead and do a beginner's guide to GetResponse automation and show you exactly what the elements do, how you can use them, and how you can put together your own automations real quick. Here we are on the automations page, and if you've seen any of my other videos, what you'll notice is that I already have a couple of them running, and this was one of them that I did live on a video before. And what we're going to do is we're just going to go into creating a new workflow. Now, if you've just set up with GetResponse and you're just trying to get things rolling, you might have to go through a tutorial. And if you do, then go through that first and then come here and do this. But for now, we're going to do create workflow. It's going to bring us to this page here, which is going to give us all the templates. And you can start with some of these workflows here. And these just have some general ideas. And for this sake, we do have some affiliate type templates here that you can use, but we're just going to go to a blank template because I want to show you exactly what all of the elements do and explain how they work together, right? So in this one here, you're going to get right away, you're going to get this screen. And this screen is going to give you the opportunity to name your workflow. Now, I really suggest you do this right away just because you don't want to forget about it later and you see draft, then the date and the time. And so we're going to go ahead and we're going to do this one right here as automation for beginners. And generally it's going to give you an option to start the process somewhere. Okay. So you can see here, there's some options. So the basic options. So subscribes would be someone subscribes to a list on your automation or on your emails or in your capture page or whatever the case may be. And so that would start the automation when they subscribe. This one clicks a link. It's pretty self-explanatory, right? It starts when they click a link. So you could put a link in an email, for example, that would take them into this process and that would give them the opportunity to start this automation. This one, if they open a message, it will start here. Special occasions. So special occasions could be like birthdays, holidays, things like that. Updates a custom field. So if they update one of their fields like a name, or even if you have another automation that updates that information, you could start a different automation with that. Sent a message, if they get a message, which that one can be a little daunting. If they're copied to a list, if they're moved to a list, if they can, update their consent status, all of these things are ways that you can start it. Now these are basic, right? So tags and scoring, this would be like if somebody is scored or somebody is tagged, you could use that to start an automation. And for those of you out there that are maybe looking at this and trying to do e-commerce, if someone makes a purchase, abandons the cart, visits a link, triggers an event that you defined, or even their billing status changes, you have the opportunity to start an automation based on that information. But for simplicity, we're going to go ahead with subscribes. So you're going to notice it puts the subscribe button right up the top here. And what we want to do first is, so this is going to give you a set of settings when you click on it, and you're going to have these options over here, right? Select the list, select the subscription method, and you can change the colors, which is kind of fun sometimes. I usually leave my subscribe ones at the top as the default color. But for this one, we're going to pick a specific list, just like if it was somebody coming into something specific. And let's just pick Affiliate Secrets 3.0, right? Because it was just an easy one to pick there. And for method, you can choose, API, form, contact import. But I'm going to be honest, if you're picking subscribes, you don't really care how they got in there unless there's a specific function you're looking for. Like they came through a specific form in a specific way, but that's, of course, really specific.
Really? Tell me about them.
We'll just pick any method for this one. And if you already have people in the list, this button right here, this will actually include people that are already in the list. So let's say you started building a list and now you want to get into automation. Then you could click that button and that would automatically include the people that are in the list. So then that way you're not missing anybody, right? So that's a cool feature. For this one, I'm not going to check it, but you could. And so now we have that selected. So at the top, you're going to see you have two tabs, right? You have properties and you have add elements. And so add elements is going to be where you're going to see all of these elements. You'll notice these conditions here, all of these conditions look the same as like that first page. So when you went to go select when you start the automation, then that's what you had to be able to choose for that. So these conditions are basically stating, when this happens, and then you're going to take an action afterwards of some sort of kind, right? So in this case, we could say the first thing that we want to do for action. So here's some actions down here. Okay, so these are basic actions, and then filters. So you have, basic stuff like send message, send push notification, which you can see it says upgrade. I don't have the plan for push notifications. That's fairly new. Custom field, so that would be maybe updating a custom field. Copy to list would be to copy that contact to a different list within your account. Move to list would be moving the contact. Now, here's some thoughts here, right? So why is there a copy and a move? Like, why would you want to do one or the other? So I have an automation where if somebody is already part of another list. So let's say, for example, someone opts into the Affiliate Secrets 3.0 list and they start getting my emails. And then halfway through my sequence, they buy from me. Then what I would want to do is I would want to put them into a buyer's list or a team list or a members list, something like that. Well, as part of some of my automation, I have where I move people through lists automatically. So they may go from this, list into an intro list, into a newsletter list. And so I would manually move that person when they purchased because I don't have control over that site because I'm an affiliate marketer. So then what I would do is when they get through that automation, I don't have a way to stop that automation for that person manually unless I just rip them out of there. But I want it to still go through. So what I usually do is I'll move them so they're not getting all this extra emails. And then when it gets to the section where it wants to move or copy somebody to the next list, it will then copy them to my main marketing list instead of copying them or moving them into like the intro list of things that I don't really care for them to see anymore because they already purchased, right? We don't want to inundate people with emails. So that's the difference is if you have a reason why you wouldn't want to rip that contact out of that one list and put them in something else, you would copy them to that other list. So in this case, instead of them getting moved from the members list into my marketing list, they would be copied into my marketing list. And then that way, if they unsubscribe from the marketing list, they're still in my members list. Make sense?
Yeah.
In this one here, copy to workflow is the same thing. You can copy or move them to another workflow. So if they hit a specific point in the workflow, and maybe you have a couple of options where, if A, go here, if B, go here, and you either move them to another workflow or leave them in this workflow, that's what that would be for. Wait is exactly what it sounds like. It's just a time to wait. Remove contact is so that way you can remove the contact. And then it'll even give you some other things, right? And so we'll play with that a little bit later. Tagging and scoring is just what it says. You can add tags to accounts so you can know exactly what they're there for. You can give them tags like purchased or abandoned cart or, I use the tags for like a custom source. Or sometimes to tag them from what list they came in on. So here's what's really cool with tags, right? Is I can go through and I can tag somebody on the list they came in on, and then maybe they buy something else from me. So I had that happen recently. Someone came in on my Legendary Marketer stuff, and then they bought from my HBA stuff. So what's cool about that is I got to see that they came in on one list, went through those emails, got my newsletters about HBA, and they bought HBA. Again, power of the email list. And then filters, same kind of thing. So range would be like a specific range of what you want the contacts to fall into. And if they don't fall in that range, then they filter out. Amount would be a specific number amount. Dynamic segment would be, a segment that's based on, well, I'll just show you here. So dynamic segment's a little confusing, but basically you would create a segment to filter people out based on specific things. So lists, autoresponder sequence, subscription, all that kind of stuff. So that's what's nice about the dynamic, is you can make it where they hit that filter and it'll check all the conditions. And if they meet the conditions, they go one way. If they don't meet the conditions, they go another. Lists would be if they're part of specific lists. Consent status would be if they consented or not, if you're doing that kind of thing. Unique contacts would be that only unique contacts can go through that filter. So like, let's say, for example, someone repeats through and you want to make sure they don't go through the bad stuff again, or maybe there's like one way that's only for new people, but you still want them to go through the rest of the sequence, you can restart them and then they won't go through the new people anymore. And then the splitter is just, you can do a percentage, right? So maybe you're split testing a couple different emails. You could do a splitter and it would just go 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, back and forth like that. Or if you do like 25%, 75%, you can choose the percentage. So now that we've gone through all of the elements here, let's go ahead and work on building a automation, okay? And so to give you an idea of what I'm going to build, and then I'll walk through it, is I'm going to build an automation that is basically a welcome sequence to maybe like a newsletter subscribe. And then in that welcome sequence, I'm going to check for link clicks. So we've already got our subscribe. And so we would want to send them an email right away, right? And actually, let's do this. Let's tag them, okay? Because I like doing this in my automations, is tagging people when they're going through the automation. And what we can do is, I'm going to try to go through quick, so I'm not going to make it as pretty as I usually do. But we're going to assign the tag, and we're just going to select just the first tag, right? We're not going to make it pretty. We're just going to do it so we can show you how to work it. And you can create your own, right? You have a create tag button here. So you can definitely create your own. And then what we're going to do is we'll go back to elements here, right? So when we're selected, we're in properties. We want to go back to elements. And then from here, we're going to go grab the send message, okay? And for this, we make sure we want to connect those up. And then for the send message, we're just going to say, I'm just going to use autoresponders because I already have some welcome autoresponders in here. Here we go. So we'll just apply that. And then there we go. It's already running through. It's got that selected. And so that's the message it's sending. And so now what we're going to do is the next element. So this is what we're going to do, is we're going to check for the link click, right? So remember, I said that we have these filters, okay? And then we have the actual elements. So what we're going to check for is we're actually going to check if they clicked a link. So right up here, we have this link click. And so we're going to grab this one. And what we can do is we can say, okay, we got the newsletter link, right? We're going to say automation message. So we're going to say a specific link from a specific message. And the message we're going to pick is this: you're part of the family now, okay? So it's picking the messages from this automation. So what we're looking for is we got a bunch of leaks on here, okay? And we're just going to pick the website link, right? Just to show you exactly how it works, okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to wait for 1 day. So it's going to wait for a day to see if they clicked the link. And if they did, then what we can do is, so this is where we can kind of move people around, right? So if they clicked the link, then what we could do is we could take a tag, okay? And we could say, hey, you clicked the link, so we're going to assign the tag engaged. And just be like, hey, you're engaged with my email. We're good, you know? And for the non side is what we can do is we're going to do send message, because we're just going to, you know what? We're just going to send it a day later, okay? We're going to say select a message to send. We're going to pick from autoresponder because I had those pulled up already. And I know that this one's there and has a story to it. And so we're just going to say, yep, that looks good. It's going to load up that message. There it is. And now what we're going to do is we're going to continue moving on. Now I'm going to go back to this guy right here. Okay, this link clicked. And you can see now it's loaded the message here. You can see that that's the message that's set up. And we see here it says after some time, right? But there's this option that says never, okay? And never is really if you don't really care how long it takes. You basically you want them to get to here, right? And if they don't ever get to here, they don't go anywhere. And so there, it will disable the no connection. And so if I click on that, you notice it doesn't make it go away, but just they won't go down this road, right? Until they actually click the link and go here. So we say after some time, because then that gives a time frame that they actually want to go through, and you want them to click that link within a day. And if they don't, you want to send them the next email, right? So what I want to do is I want to say, I'm going to go ahead and wait, okay? And I'm going to wait a day. And we can come down here and we can grab this wait. We can put it right here, connect it up, and it's already, by default, it's set to 1 day. So now what we have is a wait time, right? And I'm connecting these. So you can connect any number of elements to a single element, but one element cannot connect out to multiple, okay? So if you were to, like you notice I can't click this and drag it somewhere else. Like it will stay basically right here. So now what's the next thing we do? Well, now we want to do another wait time. And now let's see, like we want to check to see if they open the message, right? So now we're going to check a different way. Did they open the message? And we can check specific messages, right? So now we can say, did they open this message? And we're going to go again, automation. We're going to go over here to specific. And now you notice we have 2 emails listed here. We have the part of the family now and now for our story. So we want to check if they opened the now for our story, okay? So what that does is that gives us the opportunity to say, hey, we're going to wait 1 day. Do they open this email? So now if you notice what we've got, right? If they clicked the link over here, we can kick them back over here. And if they wait for this, we can say, you know what? We want to wait for you to open this email. And if they say, say yes, right? Let's say they do open the email. Then we're going to say, great. We're going to move them over. We're going to leave them as engaged. Okay, we're not removing the tag. And then we're just going to say, wait. Oh. So, right, we don't want to send them anything too fast. So wait for a day. And then we can go through here and we can send them another email. I'm going to go ahead and send you another email in that series. And we're going to go through here and we're going to say, oh, now we're going to do this thank you email, okay? And it's a different list, but we're just grabbing some, okay? So now we've got these, right? So we've got a little bit of a sequence. And if they don't open it, let's say we decide, if you don't open our second email, then, we want you to maybe be tagged as unengaged, okay? And so we'll come over here and we'll say, you know what? You didn't open our email. So we're going to come over here and we're going to say, assign the tag. And we're going to scroll down and say unengaged, okay? And then what we're going to do is we can come down here again and we can look and say, did they open anything? We're going to check again. You're unengaged now. This contact is unengaged. Have they opened any message from this automation? And let's go ahead and give them like a week, right? So we can change the time frame to 7 days. And we can say, you know what? If yes, if they opened it, we'll say, great. You opened the email. We're going to have you wait a day. We're going to bring you back up over here. And then we're going to send you another email. Okay? But if we didn't, and let's say we decided that, you know what? You're not opening my emails. We want to remove you from this list, okay? We don't want you to get any emails from this list anymore. So we say, this is that, remember those Affiliate Secrets 3.0? So we'll scroll back up. Here's Affiliate Secrets 3.0. Here's Remove from Affiliate Secrets 3.0 list. And there you go. You remove them from the list. And if they keep going over here, maybe what we do is we say, hey, you got your few emails. We're good. We don't have to worry about anything. You're all set. So now what we can do is we can just be done. You don't have to. The nice thing is here, you don't have to put anything after this piece right here. It'll complete the process and you can just be done. If you wanted to, you could maybe do a tag and say like, you could turn around here and you could put a tag in and it could be like completed, right? I just created a new tag randomly. We'll just call it completed, right? And so there you go. And you could say that they completed this automation and you're good.
Wow.
Don't take this as this is what you have to do. I'm just kind of showing you how the elements work together, how you can connect different sides of the elements. You can move them back and forth and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, this is pretty simple. It does. So subscribe to the Affiliate Secrets 3.0 via any method. Assign the tag 30MWD. Send message, you're part of the family now, and then wait for a link to be clicked. If they click the link, they'll get tagged as engaged, wait for 1 day, and pop over here to the next email. And if they don't click the link, they'll just come over here to the next email if it, because it waits for 1 day. And then it's going to wait to see if that email is opened. If it does get opened, they automatically come over here. They're going to wait for a day, and then they're going to come get this email, and then they're done. If they don't open the email within a day, we're going to assign them the tag unengaged. We're going to wait for 7 days to see if they open anything. And if they do, we bring them back over to the active flow. And if they don't, we take them out of the list. So this is a pretty simple crash course on doing this, but I want to show you something else as well. All right, so that's all cleared out. I'm going to move this guy over here because we're going to do something kind of cool.
Oh, cool.
So let's say you just want to build a simple email automation that people get into and you can just kind of step them through a process, right? And we're going to do a 4 email sequence. And so I'm going to set that up right away, right? And so I'm going to show you in real time how I can set up an automation super quick because I know the elements that I want and I know what I'm trying to do with them and I know exactly how I want them to go, okay? So we're gonna bring over send message, right? I know I want 4 of them. So I'm gonna do select it, Control or Command C, Control or Command V 3 times. So now I've got 4 message elements on the screen, okay? And I know that the first thing I'm gonna do when they get in here is I'm gonna tag them, right? And so I want to go down here and I want to grab the tag. And something you want to learn too is when you're using the automations, you can't put something too close, right? You notice how that box is kind of going around it. You can't overlap them. So it's going to kind of sit there and wait. So here we go. We got the tag assigned and we've got that lined up. And so now what we want to do is we want to send them a message, okay? So we do the tag and we're just gonna go this AS30 because that's the same subscription we've got. We're sending them a message, okay? And we're just going to again go through the same automation messages we have. And then what we're gonna do, I'm gonna move these guys over here because we're gonna just keep them available for us, right? And then we're gonna go over here and I'm gonna do an element. We're just gonna wait, okay? So this is the first message that gets sent out, okay? And then we're going to wait 1 day. And so what we're going to do, we're just going to leave this, wait for a day, and we're going to send them another message. Okay? And we're just going to grab the next message. You can see this is nice and simple, just simple automation. And that's what we're going to do. And so we've got that selected. And now instead of having to go through and grab the element again and do the wait, we can just select it, copy, paste. It goes right to the bottom. Boom, boom. And now I'm just going to bring this guy up here because now we don't have to worry about, then you don't have to scroll on the screen, right? You can build all these things out right for you here. And we're just building this out. We're just grabbing the emails. Same thing for the wait 1 day. Boom, boom. It put it at the bottom. So I'm just going to drag it up here. We're going to connect that up. We're going to go grab this other message to send. We'll grab the last one. We'll just do actually re-engagement 2. Okay, so we've got 4 emails that go out in the sequence. They're all waiting a day in between. We tagged them in here. And then what we're going to check for is we're going to look in here and we're going to say, all right, did you open any of these messages? Okay. And I'm going to move this over a little bit because I want to be able to have room. And we're looking for automation, any message. Okay. We just want to know, did you open any message? And if they did, we're going to grab the tag and we're going to put it over here on this one. And then I know I'm going to do another tag, so I'm going to do copy paste. I have 2 of them there ready to go. I connect my lines. And you'll notice I'm connecting my lines usually pretty quick. I'm not waiting to go through and connect them all because I want to make sure everything is working. So we're going to do the engaged versus unengaged because, I mean, 4 emails over 4 days, or I guess technically 3 days or so, that's a pretty good indication if somebody's going to be engaging with your content. Now, if it's getting sent to spam or anything like that, obviously you're going to need to know more. You're going to want to give them some more time and figure that out. But that's where you can do re-engagement stuff. And I have a re-engagement video that you can go check out. It's a little bit more advanced. So this here, we have the engaged. And now what we're going to do is we're going to say, if they are engaged, we want to move them to another list. Okay. So I want to take engaged people and put engaged people on my newsletter, because if they're going to engage with my content here, I want them to see the content that I have, that I want to make sure that they're getting other offers and value and things like that. And I don't have a autoresponder on that one. It's just the main list. And for this one, the assign the tag unengaged, right? So I want to just remove them from this list, but I don't want them to go just anywhere, right? I want them to go to another list that I can still engage with them, but on a less frequent basis. So I have a list that's actually called unengaged or not engaged. We'll find it here in a minute. So we're going to move them to a different list, and we're going to go select that list. And there it is right there, not engaged. So there you go. Oh, autoresponder day. Don't add a cycle. Okay. So this right here is simple. They subscribe. They get the tag for the list they subscribed on. They get a message, wait a day, a message, wait a day, a message, wait a day, a message. And then, did you open any message? So if they opened the message, then you just move them to engaged. You can add the tag, and now they'll have 2 tags. Okay. So they'll have the tag, this tag over here, the affiliate secrets 30 or AS30, and engaged. Okay. So they're always going to keep that first tag because you want to know where they came in on, right? You want to be able to track where people are coming into your ecosystem. And then they get moved to my newsletter. But if they don't open anything, right? And we're giving them basically 4 or 5 days to check this out. And, you could even add to this, right? You could say like wait a week after it's done and see if they open anything. And if they do open something, then move them. So you're not inundating them with emails from your newsletter. But if they don't open anything in that time frame, they get tagged as unengaged and they get moved to the list not engaged. And you could have an entirely different automation that is engaging with people that subscribe to that list that says, hey, you're on my unengaged list, so I'm going to send you a re-engagement email. And from there, you're going to go ahead and get a separate set of emails that says like, hey, you didn't open any of my emails. Are you sure you want my content? Again, that other video, I'll put a link to that video down below so that way you can get a hold of that. But that's going to give you more information on the re-engage piece. So with that right here, I didn't want to go too terribly long, but I wanted to give you some examples. I wanted to talk about the elements. I wanted to make sure that you had everything you needed to get started with using GetResponse automations. And I'm going to be coming out with some more kind of for beginners type things. I'm going to do newsletters. I'm going to do autoresponders. I'm going to start putting all this stuff out here because not enough people are really just giving a lot of this information without going too deep. I just want to give you a high level on one feature at a time to teach you exactly how you can get started with your autoresponder and continue your email marketing journey and get closer to whatever goals you're trying to achieve.